Right, just check them all good. Check, check. One,
Check,
two.
check, check. It's
Ready?
all registering up there. Yeah.
You know what you're doing, don't you?
No, I've never seen that sort of machine before in my life.
You've been here
cool.
before. You've been here before. Okay, this man doesn't need any introduction, does he? If you don't know who he is, well, shame on you. Mr Phil Liggett. How are you today, sir?
I'm pretty good, actually. I came in late last night and I'm staying in the same hotel as two of the top teams in the Tour, which, even though I've done 51 years on the Tour, I don't think that's ever happened before.
Get out of here.
I have got Jumbo Visma here. I've got Soudal here, and of course Julien Alaphilippe is a bit of a mate. I can't believe it's great.
Now, obviously, you've been around the sport just a couple of years.
Just 2 or 3.
Do you still get... I've been 12 years for me, a fraction of what you've been up to. I still get goosebumps coming to like the Tour especially, seeing everything that's going on, seeing the up, the excitement. How about you? Or does it wear off over time?
I have a different approach now. The first year I had no idea. That was way back in 1973. And I was a driver on the Tour and I was over in Holland for the start. And then I saw the Tour de France. You think you've seen a bike race until you've seen the Tour de France. You've never seen a bike race.
No.
This is an unbelievable situation. I remember when the race started, we were at the front, a kilometre ahead of the riders, driving side by side. These drivers were rally drivers, they were experts, they were going as close as the wing mirrors would touch.
Yeah.
I was just in tears of laughter. I said, this is absolutely crazy, to my guy who's in the car with me.
Not tears of fear.
No, there weren't tears of fear, no, I just could. It was the most strange thing to do, to drive a car, and we're supposed to be following a bike race, and all we are is having a car race. But after that, 2 days, 3 days ago, I wasn't terribly excited. You know, last year was a very special year, 50 years. This year I was like, oh God, here we go again.
Yeah.
But now I'm here.
Once you're on the ground, feet here.
Now I'm here, I'm in my hotel doing some facts and figures about the Basque country and stuff, and I could feel the adrenaline starting to course through and thinking, this is going to be a very good race.
Now, it's been a while since the race has started in the Basque region, 92.
92, remember it well, unfortunately.
In San Sebastian, you were there.
I was there.
And you've just been telling me a story off camera. Let's just say things have cleaned up a lot since them days regarding the Basque ETA situation, but you've got an outstanding story, Phil. Please tell me again.
It's true. Now let me put it on record. I love the Basque people, both north of the border in France and here, and they are fabulous people.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because
apparently you live in the country.
My partner's Basque, my kids are Basque, so yeah, I would have got angry with you otherwise, Phil.
Oh, okay. Well, I couldn't face that, you being angry with me, so I'm glad I love them. But the fact was that the separatists, the terrorist organisation ETA, they decided at midnight in a village about 100 kilometres from here to put an incendiary device under my car, and it burned down. The only good news was I was with Paul Sherwin at the time. We weren't in the car, we were both in bed at the time, and the car burned to a shell, but he had 50 DVDs in there. I hated his music and they melted, every one of them. So that was the good side of the disaster, but it was a disaster. They thought we were French because we were driving a French make of car from the UK with English plates on. But of course the battle and their objection was against the French and the way they treated the Spanish Basque. So all is forgiven now, and I'm sure that this time will be okay.
Oh well, the whole ETA situation's calmed down a hell of a lot, nicely.
You.
Back then, Indurain won, of course, onto his second GC win. Round the prologue in San Sebastian, wasn't it? You've seen many a champion. Is there any particular ones that stand out from 79 all the way to 2023?
Well, I don't think you can ever say Miguel stood out because he was such a quiet guy. An absolute gentleman, and is to this day. But so quiet, but boy, he could ride a time trial. And he never won a road race stage, you know, during his winning 5 years. He did win a road race stage in the mountains before he started his winning streak.
Yeah.
He won in Cotteret, I remember, particularly in the Pyrenees. But he never won a road race stage throughout his 5 years as winning. He used the time trials to scalp everybody, riding his famous bicycle called the Sword.
Yes, from Pinarello.
Yeah, that's right, Oh, I wasn't going to mention names, but publish is okay, is it?
Other bike brands are available.
It was a great bike, of course it was. But Big Mig used to always have his birthday during the Tour. he politely took one bite of the cake because it was always during a hard stage. I think his birthday was the 19th of July, so by then we're usually in the mountains. And he was just having to eat a cream cake with a candle on it, which he always did for the cameras. But those are the good memories. I'd like to see the French get back in the Tour de France one day. I think they won it, I can't remember how many times they've won it now, but they haven't won it since 1985.
Yeah.
And that's Bernardino, and he's still around, of course. You know, if you ever talk to Bernard, he'll tell you, and there's nobody going to win it yet either, but he says the French haven't got the heart that they had in my day. Well, there are some good French. We have a chance in it. They have a chance. David Gaudu, he was 4th last year. There could be a challenge, but you know, the Australians have got a record entry of 12 riders, and they've got a couple of candidates too. Look, we only talk about 3rd place in this year's Tour because we know where the top 2 are, and the riders tell you. And that is Pogacar and Vingegaard. Which way round? I don't know.
You're not got your money on one of them?
No.
No,
I like them both. I can't bet against them.
And talking about betting, I did notice in the rule book last night, it's the first time I've ever flicked through it. Us as everybody on the race aren't meant to bet.
No.
We're not allowed to betting.
No. And you're not supposed to wear any advertising from the teams either. So
really,
you know, sometimes people get a cap and they put it on. If it says Jumbo on it, get it off. Or put any advertising on your vehicle, because it's all very strictly tied up with the rights and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Excellent. Well, you've got plenty to do, haven't you, Phil?
Well, I'm going to go and check out the commentary box.
Yeah. Has that changed over the years, or is it just as
I've got a yellow one now.
ever?
I wonder why they chose yellow. I've got this box they built me last year, away from the finishing, right on the finish line, but away from the regular commentators. It's much bigger and more room.
VIP
the more
area.
paperwork you get these days, it's finding it on the call, of course, at the right time, but you get lots of paperwork.
Talking about paperwork, of course, you've renowned for having this desired book, shall we say, with all the details of all the riders throughout the years. Is this a book or is it a database? It's
a database. I started it in, I don't know, 1980 maybe.
Yeah.
And I built it up. And yeah, I can, if a rider comes on screen, I can press his name in, and if he picked his nose last week, it should say it on my database.
What sort of stuff do you put in there apart from picking noses?
Well, everything really. If he gets fined for a breach of rules or he gets COVID, I put it all by the year. You
That's
know.
a lot of work. Do you do that after every stage?
I do it every day of my life.
Every day of your life?
As soon as I get up. Every day of my life, as soon as I get up, probably for an hour.
Wow. Over a nice cup of tea.
As Trish will tell you, my wife, I'm a stats nut. I was trained as an accountant, but I was a statistical accountant. It never got out of the system. And it's nice to remember those things, so I just keep putting it in. Even if I never use it again, I'll pop it in there, you know. Yeah.
That's fantastic, Phil.
Yeah.
Anybody ever going to get their hands on it? That's the question. Is it just for you?
You wouldn't believe, when I was in the early days of commentary, early days being the first 30 years, analysts and people who work with me said, "That's fantastic, can you send me a copy?" I said, "No, I'm not sending you a copy, so my life's in that, and you're not going to sound like me." You know, dancing on the pedals, the Manx Missiler, but he claims the titles. I gave him those titles.
You also, am I right in saying, before you came along, like now, when you click on the TV or open the road book, there's details on every town, the little bits along the way, the churches, the cathedrals, the vineyards. Am I right in saying you were the first person to have a whole sort of list of each stage doing that?
It started...
And they took it from you?
Well, I believe they did, Paul Sherwin and myself, because the helicopter started showing Chateau.
Yeah.
And we hadn't a clue what we were looking at, because he just spins around a castle in the middle of France. And one day, I thought I'll drop Paul Sherwin in this because we were live, you see. I said, "Well, that's a very nice old castle, Paul." I said, "It's in need of renovation. It was falling down." And then he suddenly said, "Yeah, it's 12th century. Louis XIV was there." Well, he wasn't, because he was 14th century. But he said Louis XIV used to live there, etc. And I looked at him. Well, I couldn't speak to him because he's live. And he knew it. And so that started, the letters started coming in saying how great it is. Because I'm good on the animal side. I would tell them, like this morning, I'd just seen a black kite fly out of the Pyrenees. We don't get black kites in the UK, we get red ones. I just pointed out to my driver, there's a black kite, he hadn't a clue. So I do the same on TVs, and then the tweets start coming in saying, did Phil Liggett just say that was an osprey? Man, that's great. So we realised that people were enjoying that. So it spread, and then all of a sudden, the French realised that what they had wasn't just a bike race.
No.
It was selling their country, and what a country it is. So we started, they employed a woman every October to drive every inch of the route and record every monument, every major situation, every nature reserve, and they presented us with this book. And that's how it started. And nowadays, of course, all of the tours do it. Every tour tells you about, for example, here now, I can tell you there's 2.2 million Basques live in the Basque region of this country, and it's 7,210 square meters of land. So I've been doing my homework, and three provinces make up the Basque region. This is Vizcaya, which has more than half the population of the Basque region. 1.2 million people live here, I think. And like I say, I love the Basque people, and so I'll have forgotten all these facts by the time we get into across the mountains over there and into France. I'll have to learn all about Bayonne again, and its carpets and stuff. If it has carpet, it has carpets, and Bayonne.
Best festival. Best ham.
Yeah, you see, look at you.
Yeah, and it's only because I live there. And very good,
the best
very good
ham
primary
is absolutely
schools.
right, because I have a great friend who's a Basque called Arantxa. She lives up there in Espelette.
Yeah.
And so she's going to meet me in Bayonne, and she'll have some fancy local food she'll give me for the Tour de France. Yeah.
Right, I will let you go, but when we get to Bayonne, I'm going to hunt you down.
Okay.
I've got a challenge for you.
Share my food. Okay.
You know, this is it. I'm going to see what you prefer: Ghetto Basque in cherry or in cream. Cherry's the original. Cream's
I think I'll go with the cherry.
It looks good. And did you know? Here's a fact for you: the very macaroons first came from the Basque region, the French Basque region. And there's a little spot down in what's it called? Saint Pierre, not Pierre de Rube, Saint Jean de Mont, not Saint Jean de Mont.
Saint Jean de Mont.
No. Anyway, on the coast, Cibor. That's where they're originally from. Originally from.
Okay, Cibor. I know Cibor. Yeah.
I'll bring you some of them as well.
I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to get Bayonne now.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. That's been absolutely superb.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good to see you.